I think with regards to business owners and things, and anyone on social media really, there's this massive hype and this massive expectation that if you don't get the amount of likes that you want, or you don't get a high amount of likes, that people dislike you. People take it so personally, and people dislike your product, and people dislike whatever you're trying to say, which is not necessarily the case. 99% of the time, it's not the case at all. It's just, as you were saying before, if I'm in one mood scrolling through Instagram, and if I'm in a different mood scrolling through Instagram, I'm probably gonna like things more or less depending on what mood I'm in and what is going on in my personal life. And if I'm genuinely interested, because most of the time people are scrolling through, they're doing something else. They're watching TV, they're talking to their friends, and I think a lot of business owners kind of freak out in the respect if they're not getting the likes, because they think they take it personally, and they're too close to their business as well. So then they start beating themselves up, and they start thinking that they're doing something wrong, which they're not. And that's kind of where I come in the way that I help them build a consistent presence. Because as long as they're consistent, and as long as, they might be adding value to one person, that's all that matters. Right. It doesn't, and that's what they need to think about. They need to look after the people that are listening to them, rather than worrying about how many people aren't.
So
because
again,
it's not personal.
Yeah, well, again, what you're alluding to there is the mindset of happiness, what you're paying attention to. Okay, very interesting. Well, look, I'll say to our...
Hey, shut up. No, you shut up. No, you shut up. You shut up. You're the one talking. Well, there's no one else here. Look, everybody, just shut up! What's that? The wind.
Hi, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that clip. So now we're going to look at what makes us individually happy. So for me, for example, I absolutely right. The steam room in the gym hasn't been open for a long time now, but they're going to open again on Monday. And there's a glass door in the steam room. I'm smiling about it, just thinking about it. And there's a glass door, and I go in there every day and I write back to front the word arse. And so as people walk up to the door, it says arse. And even though the steam fills it in quite quickly, I lose it every day just doing that. Simple things, Manuel, what do you enjoy?
I enjoy being with my family. I'm a father of three, so I'm more than 25 years of marriage. So I enjoy being with my family because they have a lot more sense of happiness that we already have. It's not only the big things that we have. Let's say some people may say, well, a huge department or a huge house is for me the happiness for me. No, it's little things in life like enjoying a nice discussion with your family, with your kids, with your wife. That is really drives me nuts being happy with them.
Alden.
Yeah, so my happiness is probably twofold. First thing is probably more self-centered. First part of my happiness. I mean, I get happy if I look after myself, if I eat well, if I feel that I'm fit, if I've got the right nutrients, and I sleep well. That's the first thing that makes me happy. The more self-centered stuff. And the second stuff that makes me happy is other people's reactions and feelings about me. So if put it into work context, if I've done a great piece of work and I've gone out there really wholeheartedly for my customer, and my customer actually feels a sense of happiness and gratitude for the maybe extra bit that I've given, that makes me in turn feel very happy that somebody else feels happy towards me.
So there's a thing which Michael probably know more about called intrinsic motivation, in that you are made happy because of your own efforts and the way you are with
yeah,
businesses.
Of course, yeah. Internally, I feel happy if I treat myself in the right way. I've done the right things to holistically feel happy about myself, and then if I give and I can give more, and the other person is receptive and I've got a feeling of gratitude or happiness to what I've given, then that in turn makes me feel humbled and happy.
Nice. Sydney, you're amongst us four old dudes. You're the young person here. What makes you happy?
I think, mine's probably twofold as well. I do love sort of spending time with my friends, and I do always love it when we're talking about like memories and we're saying, oh, do you remember that time that happened? Do you remember that time that happened? We're all laughing about something, when I fell over in the street or something like that. because remembering what obviously happened before. But another thing that I think I've noticed more recently is I actually love the feeling of when I've completed a lot in a day. So if I've like achieved everything I needed to achieve and crossed everything off the list that I needed to do, the walk home from like my office is so much better than if I've still got loads of stuff to do. I'm just miserable at that point because I feel like I haven't done what I needed to do for whatever reason. Someone might have just pulled me, or I've been sidetracked, which isn't necessarily a negative. But if I've like achieved everything, there's definitely a little stride in my step as I'm walking home.
Excellent. And Mike, so taking from those examples, I'm sure there are several things that would rung bells for you.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, I kind of try to work in the industry of happiness, which sounds very abstract and fluffy, but actually we try to be quite specific with it, and we try to make it measurable, and we try to understand it, and we try to put systems in place to actually make sure that it's something that can be understood in a deeper fashion, measured and improved. And listening to everybody there, I'm listening, my cogs are ticking, and I'm thinking, what's going on? But you'll hear common themes. You'll hear. Ultimately, it starts with ourselves, and Alden kind of said, it's a bit selfish, but we always start with, if we're working with a business or their employees, be sensibly selfish. You can't give to others if you're in a bad place. Manuel can't. He enjoys his family. That's one of the things that makes him happy. But if he's unhealthy and he's unhappy, then he can't really get the most out of that. So to enjoy those things, you've got to look after number one. And I think in a lot of societies, we're kind of taught that that's wrong, and we feel guilty about it. And like Alden introduced it as it's selfish, but it's really not. It's actually essential. So that's the first thing. It's exactly the same for me. So I want to make sure that I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm doing the things that make me tick. But then what happens is the hedonistic lifestyle is, if you just do that, you're going to start to feel miserable because you feel that your life's unfulfilled. So you've got to do that first, and then you've got to look for your meaning and your value, which is in giving to others in the way that's aligned to you. So when people are in the right business because they're alive, they love what they're doing, they're enjoying it. When people are in the wrong business because they look drained, or the wrong job, they're drained, they're not being developed, they don't feel like they're able to use their unique skills to put into the universe. So yeah, it's the same for me. I need to look after myself and develop myself, be true to me, understand my values, which is something that comes with time, and then find my own unique way to use my skills and give to others.
Excellent. So Manuel gave a very conscious use. He chooses to spend time with his family, and he also it's kind of, you live through your children's eyes in the way as they discover the world. I can understand that as great joy. Other people in the room. So my thing about the door is a specific thing I definitely do to create a reaction. What do you consciously do, Alden?
Okay. So firstly, for me, I am generally an eternal optimist. Now, I know that's not a quantitative boost, but what it actually says to me is that I always look for the bright side in every situation. So it's the side that I look for. So then, once I've looked for that side, and once I've kept what I look for myself is business incremental. How can you grow? How can you grow as a business? What is the strategy going forward? If the old thing has changed, what is your new way? Like finding the new cheese to go forward, to bring up your business, bring up yourself, so that you can strive in maybe a new scenario, new market, new circumstances, and eventually, main thing at this moment in time, a lot of businesses want to make some money.
So what you're saying, I think, then, is that the optimism in you, it manifests in that you can see how, by following plans, because obviously the FSB has loads of documents and help and advice and all these sort of things, and panels and seminars and Zoom meetings. I get sent the emails for those. So in your mind, because you're optimistic, even when you're faced or dealing with someone who's very negative, you're telling me that you can see you can see ways out for people.